Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where no cred Ed has woken the broken. It's Lost to the Midcard. Welcome as we are on our way to SummerSlam. The picture is getting a lot clearer. It feels so weird not saying this is this preview show or this is this review show. Actually, a little bit of break in the old pay-per-views as we head to the biggest party of the summer, also known as Summerfest. That name will never die in my mind, so there you go. As always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost to the Midcard, hit that subscribe button, that way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube, and the links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. We're also on the Twitter. We share a lot from the world of professional wrestling, like Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens calling fans jackass, stuff like that. Fun stuff like that. It's at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Just finished watching O'Reilly and Black tear the house down on NXT. So as far as pro wrestling goes, I'm in a pretty decent mood tonight.
How fucking amazing was that match, man? We'll get to it obviously in a little bit.
It's pretty good.
And some nice reaction. A fair amount of the people in the NXT universe knew who Kyle O'Reilly was. So there was some a producer did a nice job of finding a couple people that definitely looked shocked to see Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, I know. If I was sitting in the NXT universe and all of a sudden I see Kyle O'Reilly's name come across the screen, I would lose my shit, Matt.
Yeah, pretty sure you would.
Yep. For the very first time, we're going to have a fan of the show on. Matt, what are we, about 150 episodes in, aren't we? So
we're getting there.
We got a couple.
We're getting there.
I guess we got a couple of fans. Who knew? Who knew? Who?
I knew, because I knew if we didn't have fans, we wouldn't be doing the show.
Well,
and I appreciate each and every person who listens to the show on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it'd be like if we didn't have any fans, it'd be like a monthly show of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Of us just yelling at each other, like how the show was birthed on Twitter. Me and Matt yelling at each other, and Matt's like, "We should record this." And 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years later, here we are. But welcome to the show. We've mentioned this guy a time or two. He's helped us out with graphics and fun stuff. Helped us out with all sorts of things. It is Markcho. He is on the Twitter at I am Markcho. Markcho is from across the pond as well. So early in the morning. But welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing better than John Cena's neck did last night.
God.
Thank God. For two reasons. One, first and foremost, John Cena's health. Two, Nakamura would have been in the fucking doghouse otherwise.
Yeah.
But
if Cena wouldn't have stood up and had the exchange with Nakamura at the end of the match, I don't even know if I could have truly enjoyed that win. One, because I think I might have saw a man's life almost end in front of my eyes due to a broken neck. And two, had it not ended and Cena would have been furious, he could have went in the back and just buried Nakamura to anybody who would listen. And, well, Nakamura would probably be on the first flight back to Japan once his WWE contract had expired.
Yeah.
So thank God for both of those things. And actually, I went back and I watched the ending a couple times, and when Nakamura tells Cena afterwards, when they're doing the stare down after the match, and Nakamura says that he's sorry, it seemed like Cena said, "Don't be sorry, it was my fault."
Yeah, so maybe he was,
or it was my fucking fault or something like that. Like, I think he swore, but I'm not 100% sure. But I definitely saw him mouth the words like, "Don't be sorry. It was my fault." And I think he said it was my fucking fault. But don't 100% quote me on that. Like, I watched it back.
Yeah.
Like that finish a bunch since it's happened. But clearly Cena didn't look to be upset. He was able to do the aftermatch beatdown segment with Corbin that aired at the beginning of 205 Live. And part of me wonders if Cena was meant to go through that table and they called an audible on it and put Corbin through it instead, just because the last thing they wanted to do after what happened to Cena was put him through a fucking table afterwards.
Yeah.
So part of me thinks that Corbin was going to put Cena through that table, and they called an audible on that because of what happened. And it works either way. It looks to be like we're getting Corbin and Cena at SummerSlam. I don't have a problem with that at all.
No, a lot of fresh feuds at SummerSlam, and we'll get we're about 3 weeks out from SummerSlam, so we're gonna one thing we're gonna talk with Markcho tonight is kind of preview SummerSlam, where he a member of the UK WWE universe, where he feels the card is at right now. But on the topic of Cena and Nakamura, if you go to @MealsTV, @MEELZ TV, a nice slow-mo of a nice slow-mo gif of Jack Cena landing on his neck. I'm guessing, Matt, that it was basically Cena was too much dead weight and to not get around to fall on his stomach. That's just my guess.
I mean, I don't know if it was. I don't know if it came down to Cena being tired or Cena being unfamiliar with the move.
I'm guessing B, unfamiliar. Just
and that comes from the same class of people that tuck their chins when they take the Styles Clash.
Yeah.
They just they didn't do their homework against their opponent on one of their trademark moves. They went with their instinct. Which is the tuck your neck, or in Cena's case, Cena looked like he was going down for a backside suplex, and that clearly wasn't what he was supposed to be taking.
Yeah.
And well, we all saw what happened. But
yeah, I'm sitting there staring at the slow-mo gif about 30 times as you were talking there. I keep looking at his neck. I'm like, well,
it's cringeworthy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen worse, but that still ain't great. It still ain't good. But yeah, props to Cena. I mean, he's got a lot of respect for Nakamura, so it showed there. Markcho, welcome to the show. And first off, what brought you to the show? Did you find us right away? Royal Rumble 2015. God, I had to think of what year it was, Matt.
By God.
How did you find us, and what got you stuck on Lost in the Midcard, Markcho?
I found you through Matt.
Matt's, yes, and
Yeah.
how did you and Matt get acquainted? Kind of through the WWE games community, or?
Yeah, years and years ago.
Cool, right on. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time, and who would be your favorite wrestler of today?
All time, probably Randy Savage.
Randy Savage, definitely the Macho Man. Who's your favorite today? Who do you stop and watch anytime they're on the television?
There is only one.
Uh-oh, Billy Gunn.
Delete. Yes.
Woken Matt Hardy.
It's not woken. It's broken.
It's woken now, pal. Deal with it.
It's woken. It's like Christopher Walken trying to say broken. Woken. That was about the most broken we've seen Matt on that backstage interview, hasn't it? Wasn't it, Matt?
Except for maybe what they did in the ring a few weeks ago. Yeah, I would say that this is the closest we've seen to it. And he's been doing #Woken Wisdom on Twitter all week. And I think after the government denied TNA's trademarks,
you best be sure.
I think WWE is just like, you know what, fuck it, let's go with it. And if they want to take us to court, we'll take them down.
I definitely have that story handy right now for later when we get to the headlines. I'm definitely bringing that one up, Matt.
Yeah, I really feel like that's what happened. I feel like as soon as that stuff was denied, WWE's like, you know what, Woken's close enough. Let's do everything with it, but just call you Woken instead of Broken. And it makes sense because the gimmick of Broken Matt Hardy was months and months in the making for him to become Broken.
Yeah.
To be awoken, to become Woken Matt Hardy is so much easier to explain to the average viewer than being Broken.
Yeah.
So I think this, honestly, I think this is going to work out just as well. You're going to get Delete and Brother Nero and Wonderful and Delightful and all those great stuff that came along with the stuff to begin with. So yeah, exactly. You name it, it's all going to be used. It's just going to be Woken instead of Broken, in which some people might not even tell the difference because the words are so freaking similar. It's gonna be great, and and WWE and the Hardys are gonna make a shit ton of money, and Jeff Jarrett and Ed Nordholm can continue to pick each other's assholes and whine about the loss of money that they could have had if they weren't so fucking stupid.
On the next GFW pay-per-view, an ass-picking contest.
Don't put it past them, pal.
Coming soon, Broken Jeff Jarrett.
Oh God! Could you imagine fucking Jeff Jarrett trying to do that? He was bad enough trying to be a singer in the '90s. Oh, wait! The roadie was the one actually doing the singing.
I think we're all in agreement at this point. Fuck Jeff Jarrett. Fuck Ed Nordholm. Fuck Impact Wrestling. So. Impact, TNA, GFW, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves with this week, fuck them.
Matt TNA, you know.
Yeah, that too.
I'm not heartbroken that I don't get pop anymore, and I haven't missed it, you know. I do need to get my ass in gear on Ring of Honor a little bit, though. I've been neglecting that for a while too, but God, so much to take in a given week.
There's so much wrestling on TV on a weekly basis. It's kind of it's a crazy time to be a wrestling fan right now.
Yeah,
too much.
What stood out to you this week in the good for Raw and SmackDown, Markcho? What did you like besides the obvious brilliance?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I liked AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that was a classic. I knew the rumors were that Shane's going to get in the ring with KO eventually, and it still may lead to that. But
I'm hearing it's the next SmackDown pay-per-view after SummerSlam.
Yeah,
they're gonna do Shane versus Kevin Owens. So,
which I'm fine with. I think it'll be entertaining.
It's whatever. If they want to do it, go for it. I'm still of the opinion I like Shane as a character. I don't ever want him off my TV. I like him better than any of the other McMahons. But I still stand by the fact when I saw Roman Reigns almost murder him in Survivor Series last year that I never wanted to see the dude in the ring again. And him and AJ still had a really good match at WrestleMania, and I enjoyed it.
Well, they had the best match at WrestleMania.
They might have. But at the same token, like, I don't want to see this dude risking his health. For our entertainment anymore. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But we'll get into SmackDown a little later here. But I thought the Kevin Owens backstage segment was really cool. I liked it a lot. Who you going with in the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship, Markcho? You think Brock Lesnar's retaining, or are they going to put it on somebody else?
Not a chance. I'm going with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a rumor or fact. I'm guessing rumor, Matt, but I'm hearing that Heyman is pushing for Joe to win backstage.
I haven't heard that.
It was something with Sports Illustrated.
Oh.
He had an interview with him.
This is the first I'm hearing about that.
I saw that today sometime, I think it was. So
Yeah.
My thing is, I feel unless WWE reached another agreement with UFC, I feel they telegraphed the finish on Raw already, because we all know Brock is contracted with the company until WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. So to say if Brock loses, he's leaving. Well, unless they're letting you out of your contract, big man, you're not going anywhere.
Well,
so
he could be leaving until Survivor Series.
or he could be leaving to go to a training camp to face John Jones.
Yeah.
And they want to bring him back at the Royal Rumble and run him through Mania and let his contract run out then. They could do that. But to me, they telegraphed that Brock's keeping the title at SummerSlam. What I'd like to see happen, I'd like to see Joe pin or tap out Brock, especially since Joe's the one who took the pinfall on Raw in the triple threat. I feel that foreshadowed him to have the greatest chance of the three to come out of SummerSlam with the title if they're going to do a title change.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Like, it's anybody's guess right now. But I still feel like they blatantly told us Brock was retaining. I want to be wrong. I really, really, really want to be wrong. But that's the impression I got from what they did on Monday. And I hope I'm wrong. So
it makes sense that what you're saying, obviously, because we all know the situation. But I don't know. I mean, again, Brock Lesnar is a special case. I mean, there's lots of things that have been done that no other wrestler's gotten to do, sponsorships for one, and stuff like that. So you never know. You never know with Brock Lesnar. So
yeah, I mean, anything could happen. But like, if I had to be right now, and I was forced to make a pick with my head instead of my heart, I'd say that Brock's retaining at SummerSlam. But
yeah.
I want to be wrong. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I said earlier my gut is Samoa Joe at this point.
I want it to be Joe. With like, if I was picking with my heart, it's Samoa Joe, my friend.
Markcho, outside of what happened in this guy's career leading up to this point, what have you seen, or what are your thoughts on Jinder Mahal ever since he's been in the championship picture? Has he turned himself into a good champion in your eyes, or how do you see the rise of Jinder Mahal?
My silence says it all.
I'm sorry, what was that?
My silence says it all.
Oh, yeah.
That's mean. That's mean. Dude, the guy has, to me, has gone above and beyond any expectations anybody could have had for him.
Yeah, I think he's been a great champion. Well, I mean, I've said this on the show many times. After that initial shock of, holy shit, he won the number one contendership, I think he's done a great job in the company in that top spot role.
Yeah, and honestly, I think a lot of people would see him a lot differently if he would have came in like brand new. Like we'd never seen Jinder Mahal before. He was never a part of 3MB. He was a brand new character that showed up in WWE after WrestleMania on SmackDown and rose up the ranks like that. I think a lot less people would have had a problem with him. Because he didn't job for 8 straight months on your TV prior.
Yeah.
But honest to God, dude, he's done everything that you could possibly ask of this guy to do. And he's been good doing it.
Yeah.
Will he get out of SummerSlam with the title? I don't know. But it's nice to, have that debate and talk about it. There's several scenarios that we could see coming out of SummerSlam in that match, also involving Corbin and the briefcase. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in that match? It's going to be very freaking interesting. Yeah,
and here's an interesting thought that we've never brought up, Matt. Now, Drew McIntyre is the only one to not hold a WWE title out of after 3MB broke up. But that might change in 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, I would kind of think that's going to change, pal.
Unless Roddy gets added. I don't know, man.
They're still teasing that.
They are, and they got into that a little bit tonight on NXT. Markcho, who's your favorite in NXT right now? Since we just got done watching that show, who are some of your favorites there? You don't have to list just one. You could, if there's a couple that come to mind.
Aleister Black, Ember Moon, Eric Young when he's there.
Yeah, Eric Young.
Well, he's been dealing with a death in the family, or
he should be back.
Very serious family situation.
Yeah, he should be back shortly. I believe he was at the last tapings, though, wasn't he, Matt? You said.
I think he was. Yeah. And how dare you not list Bobby Roode?
Whoa.
I should kick you off the show right now.
You didn't let me finish my list.
Can I finish?
You just made the list.
Yes, you did.
Matt, you know what happens when you think Markcho's done with his favorite NXT supers? You know what happens, Matt? You know what happens when you stop him in the middle before he gets to mention the glorious one? You know what happens?
Nope.
You just made the list.
Yes.
I knew Markcho would enjoy being on air.
Oh yes.
When I added Matt to the list again.
And of course, the glorious one, Bobby Roode.
Oh, now you say it. After I'm on the list. Son of a bitch.
You son of a gun.
You jobber.
Ooh. Threw the J word at you, Matt. The smacketh has been layeth down. Markcho, thanks for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. Thanks for being a fan. Thanks for spreading the word. Thanks for...
May I do a few shout-outs, please?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Shout-outs to my Wrestling Inmates group, Astrid, Manny, Roberto, Christina, and Alexis.
Definitely, man.
And Adrian. Thank you.
I just made myself on the list. I interrupted Markcho again.
Yes, you jobber.
Thanks for everything you've done for us, too, over the past 2.5 years. Thanks for listening.
My pleasure.
Thanks for spreading the word. We'll have to get you on again sometime and get your thoughts get your thoughts on the current state of WWE, man. But appreciate you joining us and being a fan, man. So it's good to have you be the first official fan on Lost in the Midcard, man.
Yes.
All right, Markcho, take care, man. We'll catch up with you soon.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
All right, thanks to Markcho for joining us here. And Matt, just want to make sure you're still there.
I'm still here, damn it.
All right, pal. After
why am I on the list?
After we freshly made the list. Yeah, it's like I'm not like proficient with group Skype calling, so it's like, did I get that? I hung up, and are you still there? And yeah, apparently we're good. We're good.
Good. We're good, pal.
Good chat there with Markcho. He's, like I said, he's done actually, if you go to Twitter at LITMC podcast, the Raw and Smackdown design banners were made by him, and he has helped spread the word on our journey on Lost in the Midcard. Let's get into some headlines, Matt. Start off with some sad news. I
don't like sad news.
I know. Let's get it out of the way first, though.
Let's do it.
WWE.com reported last night that Bayley has suffered a shoulder injury during her match against Nia Jax on Raw.
But is this real?
That's what I was going to get into. She's going to get an x-ray done to see what the extent is. Chris Amon said they are told her to rest for the next week and be reevaluated next week. I feel like this is legit, but...
I don't.
I know I feel like it's legit, but if it isn't, great, because they did a pretty good job of making me think it was legit.
like to me, this is their... We kept Bayley strong by giving her the title shot going into SummerSlam, but she's not really getting the title shot, and it's going to be Sasha. because Bayley's too hurt to take it. So Sasha will beat Alexa for the title, and then Bayley's going to come back like, where's my title shot, blah, 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 and Sasha will probably turn heel on Bayley. So I don't believe Bayley's really injured. I believe this is a storyline, and I believe we are going to get Sasha Banks against Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam now.
Very interesting.
Perfectly honest, that makes me very happy because I didn't want to see Bayley versus Bliss again.
Yeah,
So,
especially after the job streak she put on.
yeah, exactly. Like I did not want to see this match again, especially at SummerSlam. So yeah, I'm really happy about the potential that this is a storyline and Sasha's going to get put in that spot instead. WWE, 2K announces a special edition for WWE 2K18. It's funny. It's called the Cena Nuff edition. I've seen enough of 2K shitty collector's editions.
They just opened the door for that one, didn't they, Matt?
Oh, dude, this was bad.
Let you walk right in. 2K announced the following in celebration of the 15-year career of WWE superstar John Cena. 2K has announced plans for the Cena Nuff edition of 2K18, the forthcoming release, limited to 30,000 copies worldwide and packed with impressive collection of exclusive memorabilia and digital content. This offering will pay homage to the distinct position as WWE's most frequently cheered and frequently booed personality. Some details on what you're going to get. You're going to get an exclusive Mattel John Cena Nuff action figure. Limited edition Fanatics commemorative. Jesus, I can't say that word tonight. Okay, a plaque. Jesus. Yeah.
You having some problem there, pal?
I think I was either stroking out or drunk or both. A plaque featuring a piece of the ring mat and an autograph photo from John Cena's 16th World Championship victory at the Royal Rumble. Playable legends of Batista and Rob Van Dam. 2 playable versions of John Cena. The ECW One Night Stand, If Cena Wins We Riot from 2006 and WrestleMania 26 in 2010. You also get the season pass, which of course has Kurt Angle. Bonus supercard content, limited edition cards of Cena, Batista, RVD, and a special Cena Nuff card back. Also with the deluxe edition included, where you can play 4 days early, and all that fun stuff, and a kickstart into My Player. So Matt, you already kind of said it, but what are your thoughts on what 2K is offering on this $150 package?
That it's a fucking waste of $150. They're selling the digital deluxe version of this game for $89.99.
Yeah.
Which comes with the season pass. And they've already announced that it comes with Rob Van Dam and Batista. And it comes with the extra John Cena characters. And it comes with Kurt Angle. Legitimately, you're spending an extra $60 to get a John Cena action figure, which a basic WWE action figure you can buy for like $10 at Target. And you're getting a John Cena autograph and a John Cena mat piece. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm spending $60 for that? No. Like, honest to God, I hate to be mean to any of our listeners, but if you're buying this edition, you are stupid. 2K is literally robbing you of your money. Like, absolutely, they're just reaching in your pockets and ripping you off. Like, this is a terrible collector's edition, and it's $50 more than last year. They're out of their minds. Like, I could even have understood, like, if it was a John Cena statue, you know, like a neat, like, collectible statue, like they did with the Balor Demon statue last year, like, then I could kind of, like, all right, if it's a high-quality statue, I understand the $150 price point. But you're putting a fucking action figure in there? That's bullshit, dude. That's Bush League by 2K, and honestly, I wish to examine the heads of anybody who goes out and buys that physical edition. Like, I really would.
Well, there are 30,000 copies, so there's either going to be 30,000 suckers, or you could probably pick it up.
I thought it was 25,000.
Yeah, they said 30, but $25,000. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because the whole thing was Cena signing 25,000 autographs.
So
I think how you see those collector's editions of certain games where you see it on the shelf like a year later for like half price when like GameStop and Best Buy and stuff are trying to get rid of them. I feel like that's going to be this edition.
Yeah, it's more like $20 or $30. You'll probably see it. You could, if you want to wait and try to get this later. Yeah, you might be able to get it later for pretty damn cheap.
Yeah, this is. I don't think this is going to be an edition that's going to sell. Like, this is the worst collector's edition that I think WWE's ever put out. And it's not because that it's a John Cena featured edition. It's the price point, and it's what's included. Because if it's a John Cena edition and you include some better content, it could be worth that $150. But what it is right now, it's just not worth it. It's really not. Buy the digital deluxe for $90, and you get everything that includes except for the physical content. Like, it's legitimately a no-brainer.
WWE had their second quarter conference call this week, and among that, they announced the figures for the WWE Network, and currently it is sitting at 1.63 million subscribers, with 1.158 million domestically and another 410,000 international subscribers. They did not specify paid versus free subscribers, but that number is down from the post-WrestleMania conference where they said the count was at 1.949. So I'm guessing, Matt, that these numbers typically include the free subscribers?
They do. It includes the free and the paid. And the problem is the product, up until about a month ago, hasn't been really good since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And some would argue WrestleMania wasn't very good. So at that point, people will unsubscribe and they'll wait for a reason to subscribe again. It's no surprise at all that they've lost roughly about 300,000 subscribers. You want to get them back. Keep on putting on a good product like you have been over the course of the past month, and slowly but surely people will come back. But this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. You
need to continue to produce the good quality content all year round. And like I said, for the last month, I think, except for, well, if we're going to take the third hour of Raw Monday night out of the equation, let's say the hour 3 of Raw 2 days ago didn't exist. I would feel like the last month of WWE programming, Raw and SmackDown, anyway, not pay-per-views, like not counting pay-per-views, but Raw and SmackDown have been pretty good entertaining television.
How in the hell did they not put that triple threat at the end? I mean, obviously Vince knows more eyes are on it at that time, so.
Dude, hour 3 was it. You could have dubbed hour 3 of Raw this week. Why did you even bother?
Yeah.
Because it was that bad. Like, if we don't even talk about hour 3 of Raw tonight, I don't even care. Like, we can talk about the first 2 hours, and honestly, Raw would have been a fantastic show this week had it been 2 hours long. Hour 3 just sucked ass from top to bottom. But you have to keep putting on the product that people want to see, and you have to be consistent, and you have to be giving people a reason to tune in, because when the people tune in, people will resubscribe. I hate to say that it's just that simple, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
A good product with a consistency of it being good will bring people back into the fold. So,
well, it's a good start if you put Nakamura in your main event or one of your main events at SummerSlam. So that's not a bad thing.
No, absolutely not. That's definitely a step in the right direction. But then you have the John Cena lovers who are pissy about it, and to them I say, go to bed. It's way past your bedtime.
Go to bed. Get your binky and go to bed, you little bastard. This past Saturday, Brandy Rhodes made her in-ring debut for Ring of Honor. She tagged with Sumi Saki, and they took on Jenny Rose and Mandy Leone in a match that was headlined by Bully Ray and the Briscoes against Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll, and Adam Page. So good to see Brandy Rhodes getting into the action there. Got Got an update for Lucha Underground for Season 4. El Rey Network's Chief Creative Officer, Skip Chazon, talked to IGN recently and said the show's future looks good, though the fourth season renewal for Lucha Underground has not officially happened. He said that there are discussions currently on where a prospective fourth season on the network schedule is going to be going forward. I can't emphasize enough just how giving the wrestlers already said. It's just so much fun. It's really tough to shoot, but everybody just gives so much because for the wrestlers, it's a different thing for them. There are wonderful stage performers, but here they get to do stuff they don't normally get to do and extend the story and character. They get to film really cool, tight scenes and have effects. It's like playtime. It's long like any shoot, but it's really fun. The wrestlers give 50%. The whole experience is just awesome. Everybody really likes it. We can't wait to get back to it. So for those wondering, it sounds like the guy from El Rey is at least pretty confident about a season 4 of Lucha Underground. So
I feel if a season 4 happens, the roster is going to be extremely different than what people are seeing in season 3.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, no, you're not going to have Pentagon. You're not going to have Phoenix. You're not going to have Johnny Mundo. You might have. You might still have Johnny Mundo. I don't know, but considering
I don't think so.
Yeah, considering that's a TV show now, or he's going to be heading onto a TV show. Yeah, I don't. That's probably getting very unlikely. So yeah, it's going to be really weird. It's going to be interesting to see how season 3 ends in order to piece together what you can do for season 4. But I guess you could read spoilers. I mean, they did film it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, forever and a day ago.
I need to catch up myself. I did get caught up and I fell back behind. Now I'm about 4 or 5 behind, so I need to catch back up again. Global Force Wrestling, speaking of them, this weekend's event in Bridgeport, Connecticut is canceled, and according to Mike Johnson and Dave Shearer at PW Insider, it's due to low sales. They even tried to promote on a local popular FM station, but it did no good, and so Global Force Wrestling has canceled the show. I am yeah! How about that, no cred Ed? I'm baffled on why Global Force Wrestling is going on the road.
So am I.
They did say their shows on August 4th this weekend in Long Island and August 5th in Staten Island are still on. And if you purchase tickets to the Bridgeport, Connecticut show, you'll be fully refunded and get complimentary tickets to some other show.
That will never happen.
And this just in, Alberto El Patron is still suspended by Global Force Wrestling because them cheap bastards don't want to pay him.
So fucking ridiculous.
In Vince McMahon's crusade against last names, we have a change on someone else now. Elias Sampson is now simply known as Elias. Who wants to ride with Elias? Somebody, I don't know if it was on Twitter or something, but somebody had a very hilarious post, and they called it The Drifter, Elias Sampson. Elias Sampson. Elias. Eli. And before he's just going to be eventually known as E. They keep chopping away at his name.
I don't know, Big E might have an issue with that.
Oh, Cleveland! TNA Entertainment, now Global Force Wrestling, they filed a registration for 4 Broken Universe related trademarks and were given the initial refusal. The Broken Matt trademark was refused for various reasons. Primary reason given was likely confusion with Matt Hardy's own filing for the Broken Matt Hardy gimmick, which Hardy filed first. TNA will have to provide valid arguments to show there's no potential conflict between the two. Once the argument is filed, action on the application will be suspended. GFW would have to also need to indicate whether Broken Matt identifies as a living person, and if it does, they would then need Matt's consent. The Brother Nero trademark was refused because GFW needed to indicate whether it identifies as a living person, and if it does, they would need Jeff Hardy's consent. because Nero is Hardy's legitimate middle name. Nice one, Ed. Broken Brilliance was refused because GFW needs to specify whether Broken Brilliance has any significance in professional wrestling or if it's just a term of art. And the trademark for Vanguard 1 was refused, likely due to confusion with a non-wrestling related trademark. Oh, Matt, what do you have to say about these findings?
What goes around comes around, and karma's a bitch.
Yep.
And right now, karma is biting Ed Nordholm and Jeff Jarrett right in their big asses.
Yeah, I wanted you to tee off on that one.
We've teed off so much on these assholes. I don't even know what more is left to say at this point. To me, this stuff being denied is like justice fully being served, and I fucking love it. So I want nothing more than for this company to just go away.
Yeah.
And imagine how much cooler things could have been in the pro wrestling business right now if Billy Corgan would have gotten this company.
No shit.
I just, as much as I don't want to rag on Dixie Carter now for seeing what these idiots have done with the company, I feel like if Dixie wouldn't have sold to Anthem, it would have sold to Billy instead, that we'd all be in a much better place right now.
I think there might be a time where Billy Corgan might be able to buy it from Anthem for pennies on the dollar. The way they're running this company.
Dumbasses.
Some sad news for us fans of the show. On a recent episode of ENC's Pod of Awesomeness, Edge and Christian confirmed that the new season, the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness, is probably not going to happen because it is likely too expensive for the WWE Network, and given that they're doing cutbacks. As mentioned in the conference call, or on the quarterly report, their earnings for last year were about, their profit was about $30 million. This year, it's only about $6 million for profit. Edge and Christian had the whole second season written out, and we're in the middle of filming it. But they admitted themselves they weren't sure they wanted to continue it doing it because of their other work conflicts. But noted that down the line, you never know, and they left it into be a to-determined status. And also another series which had a pilot filmed was an R-Truth game show that was set to go forward as a series on the network, and that has been suspended also going forward. I had never even heard that one. So
yeah, I heard about it. I'm not really brokenhearted that it's not going to happen.
Is WWE resurrecting an old pay-per-view concept? Recently, they applied for the Taboo Tuesday trademark for wrestling use. See, they know how to apply for trademarks and what they're used for. Nice one, Anthem.
Yeah, you mean like ahead of time?
Dumbasses. It's so funny how they didn't specify if it... You fucking amateurs. It was the precursor to the Cyber Sunday pay-per-view, which had a huge interactive element where fans could vote on match stipulations and even challengers for defending champions, which I always thought was rigged. But Matt, I think you told me once that you didn't think it was rigged?
No, I heard the voting was legitimate. I would assume if they're going to do it, it would have to be a Tuesday night edition of SmackDown.
Yeah.
If you're tribuning for Taboo Tuesday, it would have to be SmackDown Live Taboo Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like you can't run a pay-per-view the same night you're running television.
That'd be interesting.
So yeah, that would be something.
Did you like the Taboo Tuesday Cyber Sunday concepts?
They were all right. Nothing to jump up and down about. They're all right.
Yeah, I mean the pay-per-views themselves weren't probably they were kind of disjointed, weren't great, so to speak. But I think it's an interesting concept to do for a SmackDown. Shake things up. I think it'd be pretty cool. This week, some new additions to the WWE Network. If you had not seen it yet, after Raw, a new Bring It to the Table came, with Corey Graves, JBL, and Peter Rosenberg. They talk about Brock Lesnar going back to the UFC and Cena versus Reigns. So I caught the first part of that, but I hadn't seen the rest of it there. Have you watched that Bring It to the Table yet?
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I didn't have any problems with it.
The very first ever match between John Cena and Samoa Joe has been announced for a live event August 27th in Tupelo, Mississippi. They have actually wrestled before in the early days of their careers for UPW in California. But this will be their first ring meeting in many, many years, because UPW, that was a long time ago. But also advertised for the event, Reigns against Strowman, the Miztourage against Rollins and Ambrose, Balor, Wyatt, Cesaro, Sheamus, Hardys, and Rhino and Slater for the Raw Tag titles, Enzo against Big Cass, and also Mickie James and Nia Jax are scheduled to appear, along with a Cruiserweight Championship match. Hell in a Cell is coming, and the pre-sale information is out there now for the October 8th pay-per-view in Detroit, Michigan, at the Little Caesar Arena. And so if you're in the area or planning to go to Hell in a Cell in Detroit, use the code WWEPRE. John Jones, after his victory against DC at UFC, calls out Brock Lesnar in his post-fight interview, asking him if he wants to find out what it would like to be getting his ass kicked by someone 40 pounds lighter than him.
I loved it.
And that if Lesnar wants to, he can come back to the octagon. And later on, during a Fox Sports UFC postgame broadcast, John Jones explained why he challenged Brock Lesnar. He said, "I'm up for it. It's about time for me to be in a super fight. Fans want me to challenge myself and get to the heavyweight and challenge my biggest and scariest guy. Challenge the biggest and scariest guy in the octagon. There's a lot of fresh blood in the light heavyweight division. We'd like to rule the division, but I feel like I don't have much to prove there. I'd like to challenge myself and get paid. I haven't worked much." First off, Matt, do you think Jones could take Lesnar?
Yes.
I mean, Lesnar's what, 5-3, 5-4. It's not like he's an MMA superstar, so to speak.
I think as long as Jones stays standing with him, I think Jones could beat him.
Yeah,
like you don't want to get into it. You don't want to get on the ground with Brock and Brock get on top of you.
Yeah.
But if he could stay standing with him and he could hit one of those kicks, like he hit on DC or hit a spinning back fist, like I really and truly believe that John Jones could beat Brock Lesnar in the octagon. So
Brock Lesnar also responded on and said in an interview with the Associated Press, he said, "Be careful what you wish for, young man." Interesting. I also saw that John Jones talking about how he once he's done with his fighting career, he would like to have a shot in the WWE. So, this past weekend, Insane Championship Wrestling had an interesting main event as the WWE United Kingdom Championship was defended. Pete Dunne took on BT Gunn, Trent Seven, and Wolfgang, and was able to retain his title in the main event there. Matt, I think it's pretty cool that they're using or they're bringing that title to other promotions. I mean, that's something you've never seen in the WWE before. So I think it's pretty cool that they're doing that, considering they don't really have these guys on U.S.
I was going to say,
television.
since they're not really doing anything with it right now, it's the best thing that they can do for those guys.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, the television show is pretty much close in the works, right?
You would hope so, but they haven't said anything about it recently. They kind of dodged the question about it on the
Conference call?
stock conference call recently. So.
Oh, let's Matt, you want to pile on TNA some more?
If we must.
Third straight week in a row, TNA's ratings decline. They fall under 300,000 for the first time since the end of June. dropping from 322,000 to 280,000. The Raw audience gets a slight bump, up to 3.16 million, with, of course, a strong hour 2 where you saw the triple threat match. Lost about 250,000 viewers, though, for hour 3, but hour 3 still did manage to barely scrape over 3 million. The SmackDown Live audience also saw a slight increase as they jumped up about 30,000 people to 2.569 million as well. As Matt said, pro wrestling's getting better again. This isn't the last that you've heard for the UFC, as also after the UFC pay-per-view, Chris Cyborg, who became UFC champion for the first time, threw the challenge out to Becky Lynch to face her at SummerSlam. That led to a litany of rumors that this is legit and gonna happen. Matt, do you buy it or no?
No, this is not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's nothing more than like social media attention for Bliss, not Bliss, but for Becky and Cyborg. This is not going to happen.
Yeah, I thought it was odd when people were reporting like, oh, it's likely going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't buy it either. Let's see here. And CM Punk, apparently, according to an Instagram post, is set to fight before the end of the year. They showed a post on Instagram from MMA coach Duke Rufus discussing his team, and it lists Punk versus to be announced. So, be interesting to see if Punk fights again this year. God, when did he fight his first fight, Matt?
Dude, I don't even remember. Feels like it's been a while.
Can we get him back in the WWE, please?
He doesn't want to come back.
I know. Can we get him to want to come back, please?
Good luck with that.
The Hollywood Reporter broke earlier this week that John Cena has joined the cast of the next Transformers film. It's going to be a spin-off film based on centered around Bumblebee, and Cena will play the male lead in the film. And production actually officially kicked off today. According to the Hollywood Reporter, they're going to be set in 1987. So it's basically the discovery of Bumblebee in a junkyard there, and set for release December of 2018. Are you? Do you watch the Transformers films, Matt? I think I've seen the first one, and that's about it.
I've seen them all up until the last one. I didn't see that one, and I really don't intend on seeing this one either.
Yeah.
I've kind of had my fill of the Transformers franchise.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is this a Michael Bay one too, or?
No, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but like every Transformers one has been, so I would assume it is.
And this ain't a typo, folks. That's what Mike Johnson says about Terry Funk. He is returning to the ring at the age of 73.
Funker, what are you doing?
He is advertised for shows on September 23rd and September 24th, run by Big Time Wrestling in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina. Funk will team with the Rock and Roll Express for the first time ever to face Jerry Lawler, Doug Gilbert, and Brian Christopher. What is the combined age of that 6-man tag match?
Whew, I don't even want to venture a guess, man. Don't even want to venture a guess.
You egg-sucking dog. Yeah, Brian Christopher is like the young buck of by far in that group, and he's not a spring chicken either. Funker. Bill Goldberg is returning to television, but not Monday Night Raw, unfortunately, not yet. As he has booked a role in The Goldbergs. Of course, it's a show on ABC set in the 1980s, And Goldberg is going to be playing the brother of Cole Mueller, who is the high school gym teacher at the school where the Goldberg kids attend. So if you're a Goldberg fan, you'll get a Goldbergs fan, you'll get to see Goldberg in the Goldbergs this fall. And, oh my lord, I cannot wait for this. As a guy that grew up watching NWA Championship Wrestling, an amazing table for 3 is coming at you in a week from Monday. Next Monday is going to be a new table for 3, this is going to be a good one in itself too, featuring Sean Waltman, Diamond Dallas Page, and Scott Hall. And then in the following week, the next one, table for 3 is going to be featuring 3 Hall of Famers in the WWE and 3 former NWA World Champions, Sting, Ric Flair, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Matt, those are a couple of great table for 3s coming up, aren't they?
Should be most certainly entertaining.
It'll be interesting to see if Scott Hall and Sean Waltman will be able to get a word in edgewise with DDP.
Ouch.
Just kidding, Diamond. We're giving you some shit. Diamond's just excited. He's excitable. He's great. He was great on that other... God, what was it? It was him, Sting, and Vader, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe that was the 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this will be Flair's 3rd table for 3. And Steamboat
Flair's just there for the free meals, pal.
Woo! And that fried chicken. Get your fried chicken at KFC.
The Georgia Gold.
Where you can meet Ric Flair. Impersonator. Oh, I can't wait for some new Southpaw.
You and me both, buddy.
This just in. Alberto El Patron is still suspended by GFW.
Fuck him. I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate that company.
If that's
like
the
seriously,
reason...
he's going to be unsuspended as soon as these house shows are done. We've concluded our investigation, and Alberto's good. We didn't have to pay him for the house show loop. He's back.
Oh, what a
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
And it's fucking disgusting. You cheap fucking bastards. You know, I find it despicable. Like it's absolutely despicable.
Yeah, and oh boy, you know, if we're right on that, which we probably will be.
Well, it's an unpaid suspension. So as long as he's suspended, he's not being paid by the company.
There is
so
zero
not only
reason.
Is he not getting his regular money, he's not getting the house show money that weekend either.
Yeah, there is zero reason for him to be suspended right now. The police have cleared him.
Yep.
Man.
It's them being cheap, penny pinching bastards.
Yep. And if you follow at LITMC Podcast, you've already seen these tweets, but some good tweets out there. First off, 2 tweets from the WWE wrestlers, or one former WWE wrestler, about the John Cena landing on his neck. Kevin Owens with a great tweet. Those freaking out over John Cena's rough landing must have missed the fact that he was revealed to be an actual Transformer the day before. And then Austin Aries saying, well, at least he didn't get hit in the eye hole and by Shinsuke Nakamura. And then also put on the same tweet a video of the brutal landing he had at WrestleMania when Neville belly-to-back suplexed him. And then apparently a bunch of people got up at arms saying, oh, Aries is calling Shinsuke reckless. So then Aries had to clear the air and say, sarcasm, pal, if you don't know Austin Aries. But
people are stupid, dude.
They are.
Well, did you see Cena's response to Owens?
No.
Yeah, Cena quoted Owens' tweet and said, did kind of tip my hand there. I know you can't see me, but there's hashtag more than meets the eye. Much hashtag respect to @Shinsuke and good luck at hashtag SummerSlam at WWE.
Yeah, that's good.
So, clearly if he's able to go on Twitter, and poke fun at himself, to me that says, he's good to go. And I'm glad to hear that. You know what? I'm never gonna be known as like the world's biggest John Cena fan or anything like that. But man, I don't want to see some dudes, like, I don't care who it is. I don't want to see a wrestler's career end in a reign with a broken neck like that. You just no freaking way. So I'm really glad to see that he's good, and
it's why we don't have Edge,
and everything's gonna be okay.
It's why we don't have Edge on TV anymore.
Yeah, Stone Cold.
Cut Stone Cold a lot shorter than he should have been.
Who knows how long his career would have been if not for that neck injury. Mm-hmm. It's just we've lost so many people. And
his style, he could have wrestled into his late 40s and maybe even appearance here and there today at 51, 52. I mean, I think his style could have easily been able to do that. And some sad news on Twitter. Daniel Bryan says, sorry everyone. Rogue smacking talk only lasted 1 week before being shut down. We'll keep fighting the good fight. Did it really get shut down?
I don't know.
Really?
But if it did, fuck off, Vince. Like, seriously. It was funny as shit, dude. Why you gotta ruin a good thing? It's just there's no need for that. There's no need. I was very bummed that we did not get a smacking talk.
I don't know. I wanted to follow up. I wanted to follow up with the new daddy.
He must have been so disappointed in his loss against Rusev. That was a hell of a match, by the way.
Fuck yeah, it was.
I just want to say, how good was Gable versus Rusev?
Crowd was into it.
And those guys both of them are so underrated. They are such good, underrated talents on the WWE roster right now. It's unbelievable, how good some of these guys are that really aren't, getting the chance to showcase it yet.
And on WPIX Channel 11 in New York City, they announced that Paul Heyman would be appearing on actually, as we're recording, tonight's news broadcast alongside Scott Stanford, who is in also on the WWE Network, but also works for Channel 11 there. Breaking news about SummerSlam in Brooklyn. What do you think that could be, Matt?
I don't know. I don't really think it's anything that big. Maybe like a meet and greet with Lesnar or Heyman or something like that. I can't imagine they're going to let Heyman go on a news thing in New York and break huge news that WWE is not allowed to break themselves. But I mean, we'll wait and find out what it is. So,
well, obviously the news is going on now in New York, so we'll keep our eye on the news wire and break in if we find something interesting. But let's go to NXT this week. Another great edition of NXT, kicking off with the in-ring return of Johnny Gargano, coming out to his old DIY music, but then he points to the Tron and his new music kicks in, which I don't mind his new song either, Matt. I don't mind it at all.
No, it's good. It's good.
A lot better than Jason Jordan's theme music.
Zing.
He takes on Cruiserweight Classic competitor Raul Mendoza, and holy shit, Matt, was it me or was I holding down the fast forward button during this match?
It was a fast match, my friend.
Holy hell. Good stuff from both guys here. But in the end, Gargano with the Gargano escape, his submission maneuver to tap out Raul Mendoza. And what was the rumored match with Gargano? Is it Andrade?
Yeah. Yep. Gargano and Ciamis in Brooklyn.
Paul Ellering had a message for Sanity and how they will write the chapter between now and then and be prepared. The monsters are real, as it is official that Sanity will take on the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team titles. Asuka made her way to the ring in a very classic pantsuit combination. Says she'll fight Ember Moon for the NXT Championship at TakeOver Brooklyn. She's beaten Ember before, and she'll beat her again. Ember Moon is not ready for Asuka. Ember Moon makes her way to the ring and says ever since TakeOver Orlando, she's been doing everything to get back where she belongs. You can say that she is not ready, but Ember knows that she is ready. The people know that she is ready. And deep down inside, under all that arrogance, you know the truth. You are afraid of the truth, and the truth is Asuka's not ready for Ember Moon. They have a stare down, and Asuka extends her hand for a handshake and then pulls it back and slaps Ember Moon. Ember then knocks Asuka down with a forearm. And before Asuka sends Ember to the floor and throws her out of the ring, turns her back, gets a little cocky, but then turned around right into the Eclipse by Ember Moon there. Ember stands over the title belt but does not touch it, says she'll pick it up when she wins it. Matt, what'd you think of the ladies segment there on NXT?
Well, it's the first time Ember got to hit the Eclipse on Asuka. So I felt it was a big deal and a turning point in their feud. And I still stand by the fact that I think Ember's getting that title in Brooklyn.
Bobby Roode is doing kind of a backstage interview type of deal. Comments on is getting ready to make comments on Roddy Strong, Drew McIntyre. He's asked about his comments and about his behavior towards Strong's family. And he goes, Roderick's family is the type of people who try to become instant millionaires by playing the lottery. Roode reminds everyone that he beat Roderick and proved he was better. Roode says that Strong does not belong in NXT. Talks about how Drew McIntyre is a changed man after coming back to NXT. Maybe he's a changed man, but Roode asks if you want some breaking news, why don't the new man, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Roode have a little sit-down conversation next week? Roode's getting ready to leave, but there's a little commotion in the backstage interview area as Roderick Strong tries to attack Roode but is held back by other wrestlers. William Regal shows up, tells Roddy that's not the way to do things. Roderick says he wants to know what he has to do to get a piece of Bobby Roode. Roderick says, you got to be professional. He says he'll do anything as long as he gets Bobby Roode. Regal says, it is Roode versus McIntyre at TakeOver. He can't do anything about it. Or will he, Matt?
Dun, dun, dun. Shit.
It can't be anything. It's got to be a triple threat, don't you think? And I think
I want it to be. I feel like it's such a dick move to leave Roddy off.
But this is a good sign. I think this is a good sign for it to be a triple threat, this segment here.
Yeah, and other things that happened on this set of tapings led me to believe that it was going to be. But like I said, if it happens, it's a backstage thing. So we'll see.
They show a video for the Street Profits. They are going to make their debut on NXT next week. Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford. So I'm excited to see what this tag team can bring to the NXT tag team division, because we definitely need some bodies in that division. Sonya Deville, I think, is this her first match as Sonya Deville as a singles competitor?
No.
I couldn't remember her being on before.
Several, at least 3 or 4 other times.
Really? I remember the Battle Royal, but I don't remember her in singles competition as Sonya Deville. She took on Jenna.
She has been. I'm here to tell you she has been.
She took on Jenna Ben Bemmel. Pretty short match, showcasing all of Sonya's MMA and BJJ moves. Pretty sweet flying arm triangle to get Jenna to tap out, though, in the end there. Hideo Itami's getting interviewed, asking about his attitude change, and Itami says that Ono is not giving him the respect that he deserves, so why should he show anyone respect? He speaks in Japanese and is interrupted as the person that was interviewing Hideo looks like had some breaking news to run to or something, and Itami just grabbed the mic and walked off to the ringside area. Referee's telling Itami to leave the ring as the match is getting ready to go on, and Itami says he deserves respect. Itami tells people to show him respect. He tells everyone to stop disrespecting him. He does not care who's next. In the wrestling ring, he speaks some Japanese, and then Aleister Black makes his entrance into the ring. The NXT universe goes nuts. Black and Itami stare each other down in the ring. And Itami acts like he's going to leave the ring, but he doesn't and tries to attack Black, but walks right into the Black Mass kick and gets knocked the fuck out. I mean, fuck, that was great. That was an awesome kick. Yeah, I would love to see an Itami and Black feud. That would be badass. We go to the final commercial break of the evening, and as they come back, it's going to be Andrade Cien Almas against No Way Jose next week. And Aleister Black, after knocking the fuck out of Hideo Itami, gets ready for his opponent, which is the debuting Kyle O'Reilly. Some nice reaction from the NXT Universe at the surprise debut of Kyle O'Reilly at the tapings. And Matt, holy fuck, was this a match?
It was, like I said earlier, it was awesome.
Just the strikes, the submissions, the back and forth. I mean, they put each other to the fucking test at the end. They were just kicking the shit out of each other, and neither one of them were barely standing. And how cool was it for Kyle O'Reilly to bring Axe and Smash with him to the NXT arena?
Har.
Of course, I'm sure Nigel tried his hardest not to call it Axe and Smash. These guys were beating the holy hell out of each other. And finally, Black got the upper hand with a jumping knee to the chest. O'Reilly tried to do Axe and Smash again, got the axe, but as he was going for the smash, he got smashed with the Black Mass for the 1-2-3. Aleister Black in an incredible television match. Matt probably might say, I would say one of the best television matches on NXT of this year. I think. I
would definitely agree with that.
I think we had a DIY and the Revival for the tag team titles in January will probably take the cake there for their best television. But I mean, Rude and Strong was on NXT too, so I mean, they have given us some quality matches, and it's not necessarily been on a takeover.
And I don't have a problem with that.
Not at all. Monday Night Raw live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we're in the hometown of Kurt Angle, so how else are we going to start the show off, right, Matt?
It was the smart thing to do. Pittsburgh's been waiting for that music to hit in that arena for a very long time. So get it in there, get it out of the way, and do it that way.
Huge ovation for Kurt Angle as he returns home. Big smile on his face as he hears the "You Suck" chants. And Angle announced some of the things that were coming up for this week on Raw, which were smartly advertised in last week's Raw, with Big Show, Big Cass, Miz TV with Jason Jordan, and the big triple threat with Strowman, Reigns, and Joe. Angle said that today marks the 21st anniversary of him winning a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. And he said that last part slowly so the crowd could chant along with him. He said he wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for each and every one of the fans, and thanks them, and he was getting ready to leave, but what? Brock Lesnar. Here comes the pain, Matt. We weren't expecting this, were we?
As far as I knew, he wasn't scheduled to appear. But I mean, maybe I just misheard. I wasn't expecting him. I was surprised. So
pretty cool surprise there for the Universal Champion to show up. I think he could do it every week, right, Matt?
I wouldn't mind it.
Then we wouldn't be begging for them to take the title off of him, right?
Well,
hey,
The dude still hasn't worked a match on Raw since he's been back with the company in 2012. So
you gotta pay to see him, right?
Whatever. Let the UFC fans pay.
Yeah, there you go. Heyman says that the WWE must really want to take the title off of Lesnar. No, it's the fans that want to take the title off of Lesnar, Paul. But Heyman is blaming the WWE brass. He's not even blaming Kurt Angle. He knows that Angle's got a job to do, but he is putting Lesnar in the most stacked heavyweight championship match in history at SummerSlam. He talked about the massive Braun Strowman, the Undertaker slaying Roman Reigns, and that Samoan wannabe Joe, because of course he's got no respect for Joe right now. Heyman continued on by saying that all three are title-worthy candidates and are going to gang up on Lesnar and then fight amongst themselves to determine the new champion. Mentioned that Lesnar doesn't have to be in the equation to lose the championship, and Heyman added that if Lesnar leaves without the title, he's leaving the WWE, as Matt had mentioned earlier in the show, which we all know is bullshit. And Heyman said he's going to be leaving SummerSlam still your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Matt, not buying that leaving the WWE stuff, huh?
I'm really not either. Like, I would be happy about it. I'd be fine with it. You want to let him out of his contract early, save some money on your bottom line for the stockholders, let him go back to UFC. I'd be okay with that. So,
Hardy Boys took on Gallows and Anderson in a pretty solid 8-minute match. Actually, kind of a breaking of the losing streak for the Hardys, as they are proving that they are not a broken tag team. Wink, wink. But they have.
No, you didn't.
Joining the commentary team was the Revival, and as the Hardys were celebrating on stage, the Revival with some staring down, and finally it went to blows, and then Anderson and Gallows joined the fight, and but in the end, the Hardys were able to fend off the four gentlemen, and ended it with a nice little poetry in motion off the stage. Pretty cool stuff there from the Hardys. Dean Ambrose interviewed backstage by the lovely Renee Young. And they showed highlights of the main event from last week's Raw. And Ambrose admitted they looked great out there, but wasn't sure about getting back together with Seth. Then Rollins came in and said it felt like old times. And Ambrose said, before Renee or anybody else gets their hopes up, I still don't trust you. And he said he's been burned by Seth before. It's not going to happen again. Rollins then, after the commercial, shown backstage and runs into Sheamus and Cesaro, who make fun of him for being alone and thinks he should get his own network show called Right Alone. Apparently they don't know that every network show in the WWE is getting canceled right now.
Except for bringing it to the table, apparently.
Yeah. But it ends up that Rollins, they're going to challenge Rollins, one of them will, and Sheamus steps up. So we'll get Sheamus and Rollins later on. And look at this, Matt. We have two stories in the tag division. Amazing. Now could they just figure that out with the women?
Who knows? Who knows?
Obviously, this happened after, they mentioned it later, but we talked about it a lot here of how the Hardys are now woken instead of broken. What do you do? What do you do with these three teams? Do you do a triple threat? Do you bring in another team? Do you bring in do you bring in somebody to side with the Hardys, or how do you parlay this into a SummerSlam match?
I don't know.
Good. I wouldn't mind seeing a triple threat tornado tag with the 6 guys. I think that'd be fun. And maybe put in there winner gets a shot at the champions on Raw the next night.
That would work.
Make me a booker, damn it. Cruiserweight action. Akira Tozawa, Rich Swann, and Cedric Alexander took on TJP, Tony Nese, and Arya Daivari. The good guys get the win after a solid 8 minutes in that 6-man tag. Of course, Tozawa is going to take on Daivari on 205 Live. Winner gets Neville at SummerSlam. Miz TV with Jason Jordan. Of course, Miz Taraj and Maurice are with them as well. Basically, the conversation is civil to start, but then Miz tries to get Jason Jordan to join his Miz Taraj. Jordan politely declines the offer, which then leads to Miz berating his father, Kurt Angle, which fires up Jason Jordan. And then they get into it, and a pretty sweet. I love the belly-to-belly suplex where Jordan tossed Miz into the other 2 guys. I thought that was a pretty cool visual. Probably the biggest segment of Jason Jordan's career here. Matt, how'd you think he did?
I thought he came across as good as he could possibly come across in a segment of that nature. And the crowd that didn't seem to be behind him at the beginning seemed to be having his back by the time it was over. So I think that was about as much as of a success as you could ask for.
So it looks like what I thought the WWE was leading towards is going to happen with a Jordan and Miz feud, and then possibly Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose against the tag champs for the titles. Are you down with those 2 new feuds going into the big pay-per-view?
I mean, I don't have a problem with either of them.
Good.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Do you put the win on Jason Jordan? Do you strap the mid-card rocket up his butt right away?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not official yet, but I mean, it also signs point to it. We got a couple of Raws leading up, so maybe Angle makes Jordan take on Axel next week and Bo Dallas next week, and if he wins both of those, he gets the Miz at SummerSlam, something like that. I'm not sure how they're gonna play it out, but I think eventually. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to if putting the title on him right away. Do you feel like it's just too much too soon after the major angle, or is there a such thing as too much too soon for a guy that's been on the main roster for a year?
And he's already held champion. He's already been a champion.
Yeah.
In NXT and on SmackDown. I don't think it's too soon. I just think they need to make sure that that he doesn't get a backlash off of it. I don't foresee a crowd booing Jason Jordan for taking the title off the Miz. Miz is a very hateable heel. I think anybody who defeats Miz for that title should get a good face rub off of doing so.
I thought it was interesting that Miz brought up that people were booing him in regards to the announcement, and then that did lead to some boos. I thought it was kind of weird that they had Miz say that.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
In the end, Jordan won him over with a nice little belly to belly, tossing Miz into the Miz Taraj. So in the end, happy days. Roman Reigns did a promo backstage and said that he drove Strowman straight to hell once, and he'll send him back there for good. As they did a little backstage promo with all 3 guys that are mentioned in what is basically the main event. I don't think we're going to call Big Show, Big Cass the main event of Raw, right, Matt?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Matt about died over there.
I might have.
Sheamus and Cesaro make their patented tag team entrance. Seth Rollins enters with weird editing to his theme music of burn it down to the start of it. How weird. That was weird.
I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't have an issue with it. You seem to have more of an issue with it than I did.
I thought it was
I thought
weird.
it was more funny than anything. You know, I didn't really have an issue with it.
I thought it was weird. After about a 9-minute match, Seth Rollins does get the victory. And after the match, Cesaro attacks Rollins from behind, and Sheamus joins in afterwards. And they do a little double team, and the fans chant, "We want Ambrose." And sure enough, Ambrose comes in for the save, but the champions double team him, and Cesaro hits the neutralizer on Ambrose as the tag champs leave the two former Shield brothers laying in the ring. So there you go. That's going to kickstart your SummerSlam tag team feud.
Yup.
Bray Wyatt cuts his promo about Balor and how Balor is existing on borrowed time off of tomorrow's dreams and yesterday's promises. And in a very cool twist, I loved when the lights went out, and Finn Balor can do that kind of disappearing and reappearing act too, huh, Matt?
Well, he is the demon after all.
I thought that was a pretty cool touch, what they did there with that. And
I think
Balor...
we see the demon at SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah. I said that on Twitter on Monday.
Yeah.
Bray's bringing the demon out of Balor. So after the lights go out, and then we kind of hear kind of the little sound effects at the beginning of Balor's song, and then the lights come on, and there's Balor in the ring with his back to Bray Wyatt, basically saying, "Bray hit me," and so Bray goes for him, but then Balor hits his overhead kick and sent Wyatt out of the ring, and then a running drop kick by Balor hit him over the barricade as Balor stood on the ring steps, and Wyatt laughing from a seated position in the crowd. Pretty cool there to escalate that feud. The main event starts the top of hour 3, or was it the end of hour 2, top of hour 3?
It was the end of hour 2. It was like, I think it was like 9:45, 9:50, somewhere around there when it started.
Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe. I thought for sure this was going to be a no contest with Lesnar getting involved. Were you thinking the same?
No, because you can't do a no contest triple threat. There's no DQ. There's no count out.
Oh, that's right. There's no
someone
DQ.
Someone had to win. Someone had to win. Someone had to lose.
You could have said no con if everybody was laid out.
And I felt going into it, the person who lost was going to be the one who most likely had the chance of winning the title at SummerSlam. So I was happy to see Joe, lose.
And Roman pinned him, so
yep.
that might put Roman at the bottom of that totem pole, huh?
Yep.
But no surprise, Matt. Great match there from those guys.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Like, I feel like Raw ended there.
Do you think those three guys? Yeah, it basically did. Do you think those three guys do what Paul Heyman is afraid they're going to do and gang up on Lesnar to start the match?
It certainly seems like a sound strategy, doesn't it?
If I was them, I would say Joe and
I'd beat the shit out of Brock, throw him in an ambulance, and send him out of the arena. That's what I would do.
Get him an Uber straight to Dana White's office, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Actually, I'm actually excited about SummerSlam. I think the card is coming together much better than I thought it was going to, and I'm excited about a lot of the matches. So it should be fun.
There's gonna be a lot of matches too.
Oh yeah, well, it's a 4-hour show. Might even be longer. Sometimes just because they say they started at 7 and ending at 11 doesn't mean they end at 11. Yeah, this could be one of those WrestleMania type deals where they go to almost midnight. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a long show. And I'm telling you right now, we're not going to have a long edition of Lost in the Midcard afterwards because I'm going to be tired of shit.
Big Show in the locker room. Enzo shows up to apologize for getting shown into the mess,
we have to discuss the last hour of this garbage show.
Yeah,
like, this last hour is garbage. Like, why are we even talking about it?
His appreciation. Show says it's okay, so
Stop
he can
no
teach
selling me,
Cass a lesson
JB.
in respect. I'm no selling you. Yes, Elias.
Oh, now we know what you want to discuss. It your favorite wrestler in the world was in hour 3.
No Samson, just Elias now. Who wants to walk with Elias?
No one, but you.
What? The crowd did. He's from Pittsburgh. That's why. Yes, they did. They cheered him. Were you deaf? Were you blind too? The crowd was cheering him.
I was deaf and blind to this entire hour of crap.
Well, until Elias ripped the city of Pittsburgh, then they hated him. And then the weird music of Kalisto hit. I'm like, I forgot that was Kalisto's music. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's Kalisto's.
It sounds way too similar to T.J. Perkins' theme.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
We haven't seen Kalisto in a while either.
It hasn't since Strowman threw him in a dumpster. Corey Graves did suggest that both Kalisto and Enzo should be moved to 205 Live. Or maybe JBL said Kalisto. But they definitely... The pitch for Enzo to 205 Live was definitely covered on Bring It to the Table Monday night.
Yeah, it definitely needs a spark. And again, I mean, we've said this many times on the show. It would benefit more if it was at Full Sail, but I don't think Vince is going to pull that. But
yeah, it's not.
But Elias continues his winning streak in a 7-minute match over Kalisto. Charlotte Caruso interviews Alexa Bliss, the current Raw Women's Champion, saying how she's happy to get to face Bayley again, and laughed about how Sasha Banks lost to Bayley. That leads to Bayley against Nia Jax up next. Before that match starts, Ambrose in the locker room. Rollins thanks Ambrose for helping him. Ambrose says he wasn't there to help him. Ambrose told Rollins that he knows Rollins is the architect that always has a plan, and Rollins wanted to help him because if Ambrose didn't, then it would make Ambrose look like the bad guy. And left like that. So a little bit of tough love, but we all know where this is leading.
You would certainly think so.
It's leading to the Golden Truth Part 2.
Oh, God. This is a lot better. This is a lot better than the Golden Truth. This is the Shield for crying out loud.
I know, but this is exactly how the Golden Truth
Hey, how quickly
started.
was that feud forgotten about, huh?
Yeah.
Like those two just disappeared off TV like nothing. They're more lost in the mid-card than Dolph Ziggler.
They couldn't. I don't know. He wasn't on TV last week
That's
either.
what I'm
this
saying.
week either.
Like Ziggler's just. I'm hearing he's not even being brought to TV.
Oh wow!
Like he's working the house shows, and then they're not bringing him to TV Tuesday night. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on with that.
Bayley took on Nia Jax in an 8-minute match. Not really excitement there. Crowd wasn't into it either. Basically, the heels attacked Bayley at the end. So basically, playing off the injury angle, it's sounding like it's not legit. So we will probably know more on Raw. Big Show took on Big Cass, and this went all about 5 minutes before Enzo jumped on Cass, leading to the disqualification. Basically just a way to kill time before these two face each other at SummerSlam. That is Big Show and Big Cass. And well, that was the end of Raw, Matt.
To me, Raw ended after the triple threat ended.
205 Live this week in Cleveland, Ohio. Vic Joseph, Corey Graves, and Brian Kendrick opens up the show saying how Jack Gallagher's nothing but a clown, and tonight the time of talk is over. He's going to finally end the charade and send Jack back to the circus. But it was not more than a couple minutes into the match. Gallagher had Kendrick draped over the bottom rope and was constantly kicking him in the head and ignored the ref admonishing him, and so then the ref did nothing else he could do but call for the DQ. And after the bell rang, Gallagher continued to attack Gallagher, throwing him into the ringside barrier. He grabbed William III, but Kendrick dove over into the crowd. So that'll set up either a SummerSlam pre-show match or a no DQ match on 205 Live. I'm not sure. I like the no fucks given attitude by Jack Gallagher going into that match, though, because of all the shit that Kendrick has said about him. So I thought it was pretty cool little segment. Rich Swann and Mustafa Ali playing a little WWE 2K. You think they were playing 18 early there, Matt?
No. I don't think anybody's playing 2K18 right now. I think it's an unplayable mess.
Server down.
Tomorrow 2K is releasing the first screenshot of 2K18 tomorrow. Like, dude, they're not even ready to show this game in motion yet. No one's playing this game early.
Connecting to GameSpy servers.
Oh my god.
There's a horror story.
Yeah, well, connected to servers, period, seems to be a horror story for wrestling games.
TJP comes in, and Ali decides to leave. And they keep talking about how they're having these friendly competitions, and says, well, let's have another match. And Swann says, okay, so next week on 205 Live, Swann is going to take on TJP again. I think there's going to be some sort of angle played out on this with TJP. I'm not sure what. But that's next week. Right now there's a video game console in front, and TJP is definitely a video game fan, so he says, let's have some friendly competition in WWE 2K17, and Swann was down for that.
And they're just both happy they'll be in the new game.
Exactly. I don't know. Where is this going, Matt? I mean, this has been going on for a while.
It's just a storyline to drag out on TV because they don't have anything for these guys to do right now. I really feel like that's all it is.
Tony Nese comes out, and I'm liking the commentary of him while he's posing on the stage. I kind of like that. It's kind of nice little cocky touch for Tony Nese. He takes on a returning Gran Metalik. But, man, obviously, I mean, Gran Metalik's known as the king of the ropes, but, man, when he changed direction on the top of the rope when Nese slid under and went to the outside and he decided to flip to the outside instead of forward, that was, holy shit. That was kind of amazing, Matt.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. Hey,
the fact...
Hey, dude, can you filibuster? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll continue to talk about 205 Live here. But Gran Metalik's flurry was not enough, as in the end, Tony Nese hits a running knee for the 3 count. And then we go to commercial, come back, and Neville is in the interview area talking with Dasha Fuentes. And Dasha is asking Neville who he would like to see win this match in the main event of 205 Live. Neville says the answer is obvious. Tozawa and Titus Worldwide have been a thorn in his side for too long. He thought he dealt with them at Great Balls of Fire, but he's back like an infection. And he hardly knew Arya Daivari until last week when he disrespected his king. Ouch. Neville says he hopes no one wins, doesn't care who wins, but tonight the victor only has defeat and humiliation waiting for him at SummerSlam. Arya Daivari makes his way to the ring, speaks in Farsi, talks about how he is going to continue the legacy of wrestlers from Iran, and again showed another Olympic champion from Iran on the Tron there. Akira Tozawa comes out, still taped up on the shoulder with the injury that he had suffered at the hands of Daivari a couple of weeks back. Very, very good 205 Live main event, as most of the 205 Live main events have been over the past couple of months. No surprise, Tozawa coming out like a ball of fire, not showing any effects of the shoulder injury. But then eventually, when the action went to the outside, and Tozawa got his shoulder slammed into the ring post, that's when it turned around, and Daivari worked on Tozawa's shoulder. But in the end, Tozawa would be able to come back, hit a suicide dive, and throw Daivari back into the ring and hit his patented back senton for the 1-2-3. So Akira Tozawa gets to face Neville at SummerSlam for the Cruiserweight Championship. And Neville looking pissed off as he normally does at the monitor as he sees Tozawa celebrating the win. And so, Matt, you back with us here?
I am back. Tozawa, yay.
Ah!
There's no way this title doesn't change hands at SummerSlam.
We said that at WrestleMania too.
But they're turning Tozawa into like the Japanese version of John Cena.
Yeah.
You know, the never give up. He can overcome all the injuries and all the odds. Like I feel there's no way Tozawa doesn't win at SummerSlam.
Yeah, the story they're telling definitely. It seems like it's the story that they're telling, and the road he's been on with the shoulder injury and all that. I love it how he gets into the little kids' faces and they have a hot off.
At the end of 205 Live. Yeah,
that was great.
That was pretty funny. And the kids love it. It's an easy chant to do. He's got the crowd support. He's great in the ring. He speaks really good English. He's
comfortable. He's comfortable with interacting with the crowd too.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I like Tozawa. I would be shocked if he didn't win the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I would be too. Would that be if you drop the title? You have Neville drop the title. Do you make Neville Enzo's first feud if you bring him into 205 Live?
No way in hell. No. No. I would put Enzo against somebody like Tony Nese or T.J. Perkins or Kendrick,
Drew Gulak,
Drew. Like I don't know if you put him.
I would love to see a Kendrick and Enzo.
I was gonna say Kendrick could work with him on the mic. I think those two could work off of each other very well. You have to Enzo. Look, we all know Enzo's an established character, but he hasn't won a lot on his own. I would not bring him right into the thick of things and throw him in the main event picture at 205 Live.
I wasn't saying main event. I mean, I'm saying...
if your first feud's in the ring with the dude that's just held the championship for the last 8 to 9 months, it's you're basically saying he's main eventing. And I don't have Enzo's first feud coming into 205 Live being one that he's going to lose. And I feel like he was feuding... I feel if he's feuding with Neville, he should lose.
Okay.
So I feel like, Nese or Kendrick or someone along those lines would be a better starting feud for Enzo coming into 205 Live. And I really feel like it needs to happen. I would do it right after SummerSlam. I feel like they're locked in on him on the Raw side of things right now. But as soon as SummerSlam's over, I'd pull the trigger and move him to 205 Live.
Yeah, it needs a shot in the arm, that's for damn sure. It needs something to wake the crowd up. I mean, Tozawa does a good job of waking the crowd up, but, yeah, I think Enzo would be a good one. God. Uh-oh. What did you say? What, breaking news?
Breaking news. The show Busted Open on Sirius XM with Bully?
Yeah.
Breaking. At Pride of Mexico and at RealPage WWE want to set the record straight. They'll join at David Lagrisha 1 and at Bully Ray 5150 tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh my God.
And I got some breaking news from what we followed up on. Paul Heyman on WPIX, New York, Channel 11. He is going to be in Jim Ross's one-man show on SummerSlam weekend at the Gotham Comedy Club on Friday, August 18th. I've been to a Jim Ross one-man show. They are great. That is definitely one to go to. So that's going to be pretty badass that Paul Heyman will be at Jim Ross's one-man show during SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Back to what you just broke. How interesting is that going to be?
Yeah, that's, man. I don't even know if Paige is allowed to do that under a WWE contract. So
she might be trying everything possible to get fired.
yeah, like tomorrow could be we could be getting some extremely interesting information tomorrow.
But but remember the news that came out of why Paige is still with the company, because they don't want her at a rival promotion when her movie's set to come out.
Yeah,
it's set to have a lot of promotion behind it. The Rock's in it. The Rock is executive producing it too. So I think she maybe might be. I follow Bully really closely on Twitter, so I know all about Busted Open Radio. But how do you get a hold of it? Is it
I think you have to have Sirius XM.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure that's the only way it's listenable.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had a website stream or
if they do, I don't know about it.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, we'll have
we'll get a recap regardless if we can listen to it or not. We're gonna hear about it.
Oh yeah, if there's some pipe bombs dropped, we'll hear about it. Smackdown live this week in Cleveland, Ohio. The show opening video package focused on the two big matches of the week: Cena Nakamura, Styles Owens. And speaking of Styles Owens, that kicks off the show. And hey, nice go into commercial break 2 minutes into the match, fuckers. Well, I guess it was one of those picture-in-picture ones, but yeah. And Matt, why are they not doing that for the main event? The picture-in-picture commercials?
I don't know, dude. I have no good explanation at all.
It's like the major matches they don't decide not to do that for. I see everybody on Twitter complaining about it. Good stuff here from these guys. No surprise there, but some funny stuff at the end as AJ ducked a punch from Kevin Owens and KO'd Mike Chioda. That was a lot of O's in there in that sentence, but Styles countered the pop-up powerbomb and hit a roll-up, and Chioda was able to get over to count to 3, but in his dazed state, he did not realize Kevin Owens' shoulder was up the entire time, but Mike Chioda counted to 3 after a 17-minute good match between KO and AJ Styles. KO loses it completely. I thought Chioda was going to take a pop-up powerbomb bump there for a minute, Matt.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
No, I thought it was coming. But what did you think of the screwy finish and how they did everything there?
I felt they were almost mocking their own pay-per-view finish.
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me. I don't know. That's the way I took it. I felt they were mocking the finish that they had at Battleground, where Styles' shoulder was up and nobody said anything. Like, I feel like that's what this was.
A little wink and a nod?
Yeah. Like, I could be completely wrong, but that's how I took it.
They were back from commercial backstage. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan checking on Mike Chioda when Owen showed up all mad and shoves Chioda down to the ground. And Shane gets into Owens' face, which made us think, oh, is this rumored match happening at SummerSlam? No, it'll be the next pay-per-view. Owen says, Shane says Owens will get his rematch for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. Owens wants a referee that isn't going to screw him out of the U.S. title. Hey, come on, KO. Mike Chioda's the senior official, man. He's been there a while. He's a good ref. You punched him, for crying out loud. But Daniel Bryan says he has a referee in mind, and it's Shane McMahon. And KO says he's the worst one and most incompetent one out there. Shane says, if you want a rematch, Shane has to be the ref. And Owen says, fine, and storms off. Really good segment backstage. I loved how KO performed in that segment backstage there. The Usos mocking the New Day with their entrance, calling them the busted up tag champs. I thought that was kind of funny. They come out and cut a promo bragging about how they beat up the New Day last week. Good stuff there by the Usos. Next up is, Matt, our favorite time of the week on Tuesdays, the Fashion Files.
This one got a lot of media attention, too. So I
Because
think that's really cool because of the Twin Peaks parody.
Twin Peaks thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Fandango says he's been abducted. It said he's been missing for 25 years. Tyler Breeze is talking into a recorder. Tried drinking some coffee, but black liquid came out of it. And then Fandango appeared dancing in a room as the Ascension were there. They were all laughing, and Tyler Breeze was yelling about no more metaphors. It ended up being a dream, but he now knows who kidnapped Fandango, and it says, to be continued. So I didn't quite catch the Twin Peaks references there because I didn't really watch it. So
I haven't either, but it got a lot of... Tyler Breeze was retweeting the stuff all afternoon about the mainstream attention they got off of it. So clearly good for them, man. I love when good things happen to good people. And, Breeze and Fandango, great people that have put up with a lot of crap since being on the main roster. And I'm super happy to see things, going well for those guys now.
Yeah, and Connor and Victor are good on their parts on Fashion Files too. I think they're pretty good on these.
Yeah, dude, it gives them something to do besides jobbing in the ring. Yep. So good on the Ascension for finding that.
It's always fun, and I hope they enjoyed Eddie Money too. I saw Eddie Money last year in Kansas.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before.
I'm gonna always mention it because I'm gonna brag. I'm bragging that I had 2 tickets to Paradise. But yeah, I think we all know where this is going to lead, and who Breezango discovers to be the attackers, and we've said it for weeks. Harper and Rowan. It makes the most sense.
Yep.
But it was a pretty trippy scene there with Fandango dancing and the Ascension acting all goofed up. It's pretty interesting. I liked it. Aiden English, hey. We give Aiden English the full entrance treatment this week, which is great. I like it a lot. I think Aiden English has done phenomenal on his own, Matt. You agree?
Well, they're certainly pushing him right now. They weren't at first, but now the push button has been activated, kind of like Jinder Mahal almost. Out of nowhere, Aiden English is getting a push. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see how long it lasts.
I enjoyed the longer Drama King entrance there, and of course.
It's something different. It's something different to be the opponent, not get interrupted. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens.
Kind of a fluky win, only 2 minutes, a little bit of a roll up, as the announcers kind of said. Sami Zayn got caught. Aiden English with the win there. My God. And after the match, Mike and Maria Kanellis show up on stage and say they love each other, but they also love that Zayn lost. And that was all they had to say. The power of love. We haven't seen Carmella in a while. I don't think she's wrestled a match since winning the briefcase, right?
Till last night.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I mean, it doesn't mean she hasn't.
Natalya Carmella took on Becky Lynch and Naomi. Nice little 6-minute tag match there, which ended in Carmella tapping out to the Disarmer. Or no, I'm sorry, Naomi's. What they don't have? I don't think they have a name for that.
I don't think they've named it yet.
Singh brothers are interviewed by Renee Young. Samir is sporting a neck brace. Nice little touch there. Mahal says he doesn't care who wins between Cena and Nakamura, but he's going to go to his skybox and enjoy the match. So that kind of killed the triple threat notions there, huh, Matt?
Oh, yeah, that was completely out the window.
Yeah. The only complaint now I have about Jinder is he is not mixing up his promos. It's always.
Vince is writing all his promos for him. What do you expect him to do?
Good point.
All of his he's said it in interviews this year that he's not comfortable. He's not really comfortable with the anti-American character that Vince wants him to play. But he's got to do what he's got to do, and
it's getting him over in the way.
Yeah, exactly. But you mean all of his promos are being written by Vince, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, doesn't that explain so much?
It does. You just shed a lot of light on that one for me, Matt.
Yeah.
One of the bright spots of, this was a show full of bright spots, but a surprise bright spot. We didn't know this match was happening, but God, Rusev and Chad Gable. Chad Gable got the crowd behind him big time, didn't he?
Yeah, this match was actually, as far as I knew, it was scheduled for last week's SmackDown, and somehow it got bumped and they put it on this one instead, and I'm glad they did, because I felt it really helped fill out this entire show as just being a really good top-to-bottom wrestling show. It was good. It was great stuff. I legit can't think of a single thing I had to complain about SmackDown this week.
No. Amazing near fall. How about Gable landing a belly to belly on Rusev? Holy shit, that was amazing. Dude is strong deceptively. I mean, you look at him, he's not a muscular dude, he's not a big dude, but man, that's some pimpin' shit doing a belly to belly on Rusev.
Pimpin' shit, that's a new one.
That's some pimpin' shit. Gable avoids the accolade and slaps on the ankle lock. One of the key moments of the match that had us believing, oh my God, is this going to happen? But Rusev nearly tapping out, but he kicked Gable out of the ring. Gable gets back in the ring, and Rusev hits a super kick and then slaps on the accolade, and Gable had nothing to do but tap out. But man, great job, Rusev and Gable. You had the crowd at hello on that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine how anybody could say that wasn't a good match.
Exactly. Rusev afterwards cuts a promo saying ever since he came to SmackDown Live, he was promised competition and an opponent of his caliber. And Rusev said they gave him Cena, and yeah, Cena won the flag match, but he didn't beat him. Rusev claims he beats everybody, so people are afraid of him. But then Randy Orton's music hits. And good stuff there, a little stare down. Orton trying to get in the ring. Rusev cutting him off, but in the end, Orton gets in. Rusev went for a clothesline and an RKO out of nowhere. So there's a new feud there.
I really hope Orton puts him over.
I said that on Twitter.
My main worry is Orton needs a win coming out of 3 straight losses on Jinder, but I really hope Orton puts him over.
Dude's a 12-time world champion. He could go on. I think he can afford a losing streak here and there.
Well, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying WWE logic.
Yeah.
Gotta get him his win back, damn it.
Yeah, against a guy we don't care about that should be a world champion. I mean, is he basically the number one guy on the roster that should be a world champion by now but isn't?
Well, who, Rusev?
Yeah.
Man, honestly, off the top of my head, I'd say yes. But that's something I'd really have to sit down and think about. That sounds like a good 5-count question. Top 5 current people on the roster that should have been a world or / universal champion by now, but isn't. You know that
we haven't done a 5-count in a couple of pay-per-views.
No, maybe we'll bring that back for SummerSlam. That gives me plenty of time to put together a proper list for that.
I am going to put that right there.
JB's penciling it in, folks. It's happening.
5 current WWE superstars who haven't been world champion.
But should be.
But should be by now.
Yes.
It's like the longest 5-count title ever, but
that's what we do, pal. That's what we do. Recognize.
Yeah, off top of my head, I can think of Rusev, Sami Zayn.
Dude, let's not even talk about it right now. We should. We gotta save it for SummerSlam.
One more name, Elias.
Vomit. Everybody just turned off the show in unison right there. We just lost all of our listeners. Thanks, JB.
Main event time. Dream match. Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena. We've talked about this one quite a bit. Lots of good stuff here. We talked about the suplex that landed Cena on his neck, that bad landing, and all that fun stuff. That led to the Kinshasa. And whoa, Matt, a clean pinfall, Nakamura over Cena.
It was great. I loved it. Like I said, I was scared for a minute or two, and I thought Cena was dead, and that broken neck was gonna ruin Nakamura's WWE career for life. But luckily, he seemed to be okay, and Cena seemed to take responsibility for it. So the happy days were there again.
Did you read the spoiler prior to the show?
I knew what was reported ahead of time, but it was one of those things of I'll believe it when I see it.
And so I was just like,
because you know how WWE likes to change their mind. So yeah, I was just like, well, they say this now, but come showtime, they could have different plans. But I was very glad they did not.
I could imagine. I know how big of a Nakamura fan you are.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine your elation when Nakamura won clean over John Cena.
I was very happy when I read the report. And about 5 minutes after I read the report, my power went out. Because we were having a tremendous bad storm, and originally it said that my power would be back on by 7:45, and I'm like, all right, at least I'm gonna get to see SmackDown. And then 7:45 rolls around, and I checked the outage map again, and it said estimated power restored 10:15.
No.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna miss the entire show. And then luckily, by the grace of God, my power returned around 8:15. Somewhere around there, so I got to catch the end of Styles and Owens, and I got to watch the rest of the show. But yeah, I was freaking. I'm like, if I don't get to see the first ever Nakamura versus Cena match live, I'm gonna be upset. So yeah. I was very glad that the power decided to come back and allow me to see that awesome match.
Clearly, they didn't give us everything in this great 14-minute match, so it really makes me excited to see what they will give us when they get 20 to 22 minutes on a pay-per-view, hopefully sometime down the road, because I think it'll be just an amazing match. And like we said several times throughout the show, props to Cena for giving the respect to Nakamura. Nakamura apologizing. Cena says, don't apologize, And
yeah, it really looked like he said, don't be sorry, it was my fucking fault. And I watched that specific scene over again a lot, trying to read Cena's lips, and that's what I got out of what he said. So
yeah,
and that's a good thing. If Cena thinks he was the one to blame for that, then he's not gonna allow Vince or anybody else to put any heat on Nakamura because of it. So that's a good thing.
And I always love it when SmackDown Live bleeds into 205 Live.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't expect that.
Flipped over to the WWE Network to watch 205 Live, and actually the first time I'm watching it live since Talking Smack, RIP, Nakamura's still celebrating in the ring. And I'm like, oh, cool. They're showing some more Nakamura. All right.
Part of me wonders if that match went long. If this was scheduled for the end of SmackDown and the match went long and they decided, we'll throw it on the network instead.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, it gets more people to maybe tune into 205 Live, so it might be might have been a run long on purpose.
True, but they didn't tell anybody.
No.
They didn't say tune into 205 Live to see the rest of Shinsuke's celebration or anything like that.
Look what you missed since you didn't.
Well, that's true too. They could say that next week, so they could share the clip on the network and say this is what you missed when the camera started for 205 Live on the WWE Network. They could do something like that. Yeah, that's totally doable.
Nakamura attacked from behind by Baron Corbin with the briefcase. John Cena, he's proving that he's okay. Came in and made the save, but as Matt said earlier, wondering if Cena was supposed to go through that table and if they called an audible for Baron Corbin to take the AA through the table as we kicked off 205 Live. So, Matt, good point there. I think that might have been an audible called.
Yeah, I really feel like it was.
And if you got a link handy for me to see the end of that, I want to see if that's what I get from Cena as well when Nakamura and him are talking.
I have it on DVR. Okay. I don't have it.
I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up on Hulu.
There you go.
And I'll take a look.
Yeah. Take a look at it. Get back to me after the show. Let me know what you saw. But that's what I was seeing, and I watched it a bunch, trying to figure it out.
I'll just keep you on the line here when I pull it up, and we'll see if I see the same thing. Again, a great week of pro wrestling overall, all across the board. 205 Live was great. I think it was one of the better shows in a while. I thought Tozawa Daivari was a great main event. I think Daivari is really coming in on his own as well. SmackDown, top to bottom, was just phenomenal. Raw was 2/3 good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And NXT was pretty damn good when you got Kyle O'Reilly and Aleister Black beating the shit out of each other. So a great week of pro wrestling. That's going to do it for Lost in the Midcard. And thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure you search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends to do it as well. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, and the links to everything there on our Facebook page, the notes section of facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Follow us on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, at Raw F Showtime, at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset with our first episode of August, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I just want to shout out Markcho, one of our fans. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. He had a friend that he wished to shout out to and forgot, so I'm going to do it for him. Monica, if you're listening, thanks for being a fan. Thanks for listening to Lost in the Midcard. And Markcho is sorry that he didn't say your name. So there you go.
All right. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning into Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next Thursday.